Police Minister Senzo Mchunu, who joins us live now. Minister, good evening to you. Thank you so much for your time. Before we get into what Makua has had to say there to my colleague Thabiso Moss, there's something that is happening now that's causing a bit of confusion. There are numbers, right, that are being issued by the statement of net joints, for example. It says that between Monday this week and this afternoon, there's about 216 who are alive and 78 who are deceased. And then there are numbers that are being provided by Makua saying that 154 are alive and 78 are deceased. This is causing a bit of confusion. So which figures are correct?
Thank you very much. From where we sit, we have even from midday today set up a center there manned by our spokesperson and those that come from the district. It is 216 alive from Monday and 78 deceased. But today, 84 alive and 18 deceased.
And which numbers then would you say members of the public should look at? Is it your verified numbers, or where do they look at? Because there are now different numbers that are being bandied about. It's actually taking us back to the moment when this crisis started, that we were told there's about 4,000 people and then at some point 400. So where do people look to for verified numbers?
They should look at the figures that we are giving to the public. Unlike the situation underground of how many people are there, how many people are remaining now, here you are able to see people as they pass and you are able to count. And we believe that those that represent us there, including the acting provincial commissioner, who is on the ground on a daily basis. And now, in addition to that, our communications in the past, they haven't given us figures that worry us afterwards. And we don't have any reason to believe that this time the figures that they are giving us, we have reasons to worry. We believe in the figures that they are giving us.
And have they been able to establish as to how many people are still underground?
Pardon?
Have they been able to establish as to how many people are still underground?
No, that's not possible unless someone has gone down, actually called everybody who is there, lined them up and counted them, or someone would have been counting as they went down some time ago. Now, none of those activities have been undertaken, and therefore we don't have any certainty about the figure. We can just listen to those who come out to say, no, as I was moving up or towards the cash now, I saw 18 people. We rely on those, but not to give them to the public as certainty, for certainty.
That would make your work somewhat difficult, especially given the fact that they do have different numbers, and members of the community are still looking to ensure that officials are able to assist with their family members being brought to surface?
It is making our job a little bit difficult, but we've given ourselves 10 days to deal with the work that is being dealt with there, retrieval. From counting from Monday, 3 o'clock, then counting from there onwards. We will, at the end of the 10th day, converge to assess, collate all the information and assess. And then thereafter, we take a decision in terms of the way forward. But that is what we've done so far.
When it comes to a statement that was released by SAFU this week, they say that government, and I'm quoting in part, this massacre reflects the South African government's failure to uphold the most basic tenet of our constitution, that's the right to life, and they're also describing the government as a government without humanity. How do you respond?
Firstly, to say, I would caution passing judgment the way some stakeholders are doing, because we're in the middle of the operation. We are still working on the ground. So to be judgmental, to say that government failed before you have the totality of the situation. Nevertheless, we have said our position is that we are South Africans with free expression, and people who want to express themselves are free to do so. Part of it, anger, part of it, emotions, and therefore you would allow that situation and you would understand it, especially as people who are in government. We don't want to sound like we don't want any other view except our view. We even accept criticism from whichever, but we are staying put and focused on what we have to do now. For instance, in the last meeting, not counting yesterday's meeting, the last meeting that we had, we agreed that there would be 3 methods: the rope, the professional retrieval, and people voluntarily walking out. Now, what is happening? All those 3 are in place. Now, if there's criticism for something like there was a delay, this could have been done, we are noting all those, but staying focused on the way, because if you listen to everything, you will end up not knowing what to do, whether to move forward or backwards. We're focused and are moving forward with as much speed as possible, as much speed as we can afford at this stage, to assist people to move out and to retrieve bodies that are down there. And work is continuing well at the moment.
So, Minister, as you say that you are accepting criticism and listening to all the different voices, are you also accepting the criticism, like we just heard from Makua, saying that had you acted sooner as government, this crisis would have been prevented and there wouldn't have been a loss of life at this scale?
Well, look, Operation Valumkoti was launched somewhere end of November 2023, and it has been operating up to now. When they say so, in the main, they are basing it on the number of bodies, and for now, I see that the concentration is on the number of bodies, not on the number of people who are getting out alive, as per our operation there. And I think that's the first issue that we need to put on the table. Let's look at both, as I'm doing now. Today, 84 people came out alive and 18 are deceased. It helps to do so, to put facts on the table and then express what you want to express. And number 2, it shouldn't be assumed that the 18 bodies that are out just for today are people who any one of us know the cause of death and know when exactly they passed on. We don't know that until there is a report of the pathologists who are painstakingly taking all the details, doing the necessary professional investigation. It's only after the comprehensive information has been given to say, out of the deaths and investigations thereof, so many people, the cause of death is this one, and the estimated time was this one. But I do understand and accept that this is an emotional issue. Everyone wants to judge. It's like when you are in a burning house, everybody will say, let's go through the window, let's go through the door, and you will be coming across each other, but not going up. And we want to stay sober, focused, while people have their say. But say it will help all of us as South Africans to wait until pathologists have done and completed their job, meaning let's wait until we retrieve all the bodies, if that will come to the point, retrieve everybody, assist everybody out, and then we can start making analysis, and that will help so that we keep sober on the matters.
Makuwa, though, is saying that there are some, you are using government equipment and even, government machinery in order to be able to safeguard private property, because they say that, according to what they know, this is not a derelict mine. So why would Operation Valumkoti then be there?
Well, it's exactly what I'm saying to you. We agreed with all the stakeholders there that we need to focus on assisting people to go out and retrieve those who would have deceased if they are, and indeed they are. Now we're doing exactly that. Now, I don't know where guarding comes from, because what is happening is that there are operations there and there is expensive machinery there. It has to be secured. And when people come out, they need to be checked quickly and then processed through health services, especially if they show signs of weakness. And those people who are doing those services need to do that on a secure environment. And then there's also Home Affairs. There's also police who are doing necessary duties there, but there are also pathologists. Now, you can't say, leave those people alone. They must work and be exposed to any other person who may want to do any other thing, including lawlessness. Those people, the police, when they are there, they are making sure that everyone is safe there, including the people who are coming out. Remember, the other thing that I need to indicate to you, there are people who have made allegations from who are coming out saying, I was recruited under false pretenses. This is what was said to me, that there's a job, it will be a nice job, I would like it. And it was only when I got there that I was told you are going underground, and it was like forced. That's number one. Nobody is talking. People who are dealing with human rights, they take it when people are already underground. They don't say how people got there and look at the human rights aspect. If you want to look at human rights aspect on how people got there in the first place, and then the allegation is that once underground, everything that you needed, bodily, like water, like food, you would need to buy. Nobody is saying what human rights are those. And thirdly, there are people who are saying we were given very little out of what was there, merely to survive and so on. Nobody is so there are quite a number of aspects. They need sobriety and they need coolness of the mind while the situation is serious. But to express, yes, people may express what they want to do, but we will try as much as possible to really focus on key issues going forward.
Minister, we're out of time, but in about 10 seconds, I have to ask you this. There are visuals that are purporting to show people underground, and it's, the visuals are showing what seems to be dead bodies as well underground. Have you established if these visuals are in fact real as to what's happening underground currently?
We've seen the visuals. Myself, I've spoken to various people there who are doing investigations. And they are saying, yes, they are looking at those. They haven't completed, but indeed it does look like bodies. And we are agreeing that whatever, whether it is one part of a body or whatever part, make sure that it is properly taken out to the surface. And so that, but as for the number, I'm not sure about the number because we haven't sent people to go and take videos, and we're just looking at the videos. We don't know the veracity thereof, and all we know is that there are people underground who are assisting the retrieval, the machine, the equipment there. But as for them dwelling and walking into other parts and then taking videos, I'm not sure about it, but we did look at it and we're still looking at it.
All right, Minister, thank you so much for your time this evening and for that update. Let's see then what happens. As you say, you've given yourselves 10 days. Let's see then when it's time to wrap up where you are and what you've been able to achieve through this operation. Appreciate your time. That's the Police Minister there, Senzo Mchunu.